Welcome back to another What I Eat in a Week, but this one is fun. This is grandparents' house edition, so I am down visiting my Grammy and Grampy for a little while, and so I thought, what would be more fun than doing a little like What I Eat in a Week at their house? So I'm of course exposing them to lots of vegan eats and treats. So I started off the day with a tofu scramble with bell pepper and kale and mushrooms, and then I've been obsessed with pumpkin spice lattes because it's finally fall. It is finally time for pumpkin spice and cozy vibes. And I did have it iced this day. I go between hot and iced. It's hard to decide which one's better. They both taste amazing. And it has real pumpkin in it. I blend like actual pumpkin in it. And look at the steam. Look at the steam off that bad boy. Like, isn't that kind of artistic? It's kind of beautiful. So I had that for breakfast with some toast. I had apple butter on one piece of toast and jam on the other. And then for lunch, I decided to make some scones. I made blueberry lemon scones, and jalapeno cheddar and chive scones, which are my weakness. I would marry a jalapeno and cheddar and chive scone if I could. I don't know if that's legal, but they're quite literally the most delicious thing. Oh, they're savory and like with a little spicy, and then these blueberry scones, my grandpa doesn't get too excited about many things, but he said those scones were literally to die for. Like, I've never seen him so happy over food before. And then I made a blueberry and banana smoothie later for a little snack. And for dinner, I decided to make my chickpea meatloaf, a little thingy, and sweet potato brownies for dessert. Now, this is a recipe my grandpa shared with me that he got in the mail and he really wanted me to try, and it turned out freaking delicious. And look, we made 2 little mini meatloaves for them to freeze later, and we had some broccoli and potatoes, and everything was so good. I tried chili ketchup for the first time. I didn't even know that was a thing. It's not like really spicy, but it's absolutely delicious. Oh, and look at those brownies. They were like a little crispy on top. They have that like nice layer of like crisp, which I absolutely love on a brownie. Then the next day, I decided to make them some good old celery juice. And again, my grandma's down for anything. She's such a trooper. My grandpa he's not a big fan of new things, but he drank the celery juice for me, which is, love him, you know what I mean? He's willing to try. Is it everyone's favorite thing? No. But it's good for us. It's anti-inflammatory. We love it. And then I had 2 types of yogurt. I had plain coconut yogurt and some strawberry, or mixed berry, I think, yogurt from Riviera. And then I put a bunch of granola on there. That was really delicious. And then for lunch, I decided to make some BLTs. So I marinated a bunch of tofu and fried that all up. And then we got these tomatoes they got at the farmer's market. Do you see how juicy they are? You can just tell a tomato is fresh and juicy. You can just tell. And like, it actually has the flavor of a tomato. Like, when you get tomatoes in the winter or even the fall, like late fall, they just taste like water. Anyways, then we played some Scrabble because I'm trying to up my Scrabble game, and it's not going so well. My grandparents are obsessed with Wordle right now, so we're pretty good at it. And then for dinner, we made some G&Ts. Now, I don't really drink, so this is more of them thing, but we got this mulberry gin while we were traveling around Nova Scotia, and I had a sip. It was actually pretty delicious. And then we made a chickpea pot pie for dinner. I'll peep my camera on the other side over there. And I made these date bites. So I cut up a date, little peanut butter, granola, and then you cover them in chocolate. Oh, they taste, when you freeze them and like the date gets all chewy like caramel, they taste better than a Snickers bar, better than an O. Henry. I could eat 35 in a sitting. Actually, I couldn't, but I want to because they're that good. Then we had some apple crumble that I made that was so freaking good. And then, of course, a little bit of celery juice we made enough for 2 days. They were really happy about that. And then I had some oatmeal. And one thing about oatmeal is that I love it, but nobody makes better oatmeal than my grandma. And whenever I eat it, brown sugar and cream, it just reminds me of her. Like that's what I had growing up at my grandparents' house, and they make it so incredible. No one can make it better than her. So it's always a treat to have it here. And then I made some taquitos for lunch with refried beans and cheese and a little sour cream. And then I made myself one of my maple lattes, but I didn't have my frother. So it was good, but it wasn't like as good as usual. And I made a little sauce for the taquitos too. And I didn't have any hot sauce, which I usually eat hot sauce with my taquitos. So that was a little bit sad, but they were still delicious. Made like a garlic like aioli to go on top. And then for dinner, we had a good old lasagna with a little salad with the homemade dressing. Look at me go. And croutons, oh my gosh, a little parmesan on top. There's something about carbs in a Caesar salad. So pizza in a Caesar salad, lasagna in a Caesar salad, I would go to the ends of the earth for it. I'm honestly probably more excited about the salad usually, but the combination of the two, heavenly. Then it's that season again. This just reminds me so much of Christmas or winter and like cozy vibes. The custard toast with the blueberries, oh my gosh. I made a slice for everybody, a little powdered sugar. Like, doesn't it just look like Christmas? To me, it looks like Christmas, and it just makes me want to cry because I'm so excited. But we have to calm down. It's only October. We got to get through Halloween and everything first, but November 1st, baby, you know it. And then this is me not realizing the toaster. I literally, for like 5 minutes, I didn't realize. And look, that's my Grammy. Look how cute she is. She's literally the cutest person on this earth. And then I made avocado toast for lunch. Then for dinner, it was the one, oh, there's my brother, we're FaceTiming. The one and only butter tofu, like butter chicken. Oh, you like baked tofu, it gets all crispy. You toss it in with the sauce. We made rice. My grandma got this adorable little rice maker. It's for college students and for, they said like the elderly, and she's like, that's perfect. So she got it. It's so little. It makes like just like 2 cups of rice. It's adorable. So I was teaching her how to use that. And then the next day we had a good old breakfast plate again. So I cut up some bell peppers, some green onion, and made like a little breakfast egg situation with, I made some of my lentil just egg, which was a little bit hard without my Vitamix because it blends it really fine and it wasn't as good as the other one, but it was still very delicious. I put some jam on my toast. I don't know why I did it like that, like I cut it and then put the jam, because it was way more difficult. I was also using a spoon because, oh yeah, I made breakfast potatoes too. Come through, because we were out of knives. Oopsie daisies, don't tell anybody. Then we had some more of our chocolate date bites. Again, just like going through them too quick for our own good. Then we made some hot drinks. We had tea, and I had like a little cafe lib coffee, just a plain one. And then I had some more breakfast potatoes, because you put a potato in front of me, I will most likely eat it. Any type of potato. Then I was making more of these bites because in 5 days, I think we went through all of them. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Because my grandma is such a chocolate lover, and she's obsessed with these because they're like the perfect sweet, salty. Again, it's an emotional thing, me and these date bites. I am so glad we found each other. Again, a key thing is having them cold. They're so good cold. And then I made tofu egg salad for lunch. Now I made one on toasted bread and one on plain bread because I couldn't decide which was better. The plain bread, like, you know, soft, or the toasted bread for like a little extra crunch. I still am undecided. I had half and half of each, and my mom had half and half of each. And we both, I think I'm leaning a little bit towards the soft egg salad because I feel like it's reminiscent of my childhood. Anyways, it's still up for debate. I'd love to know your opinions, everyone's opinions, because it's very hard to know which one reigns supreme. Then, you know what time it is. It is pumpkin pie time. It is the first one of the season, which is always a special moment. And my sister's allergic to some of the spices in pumpkin pie, so I always have to make it a little different when I make it at home. But I can make it with all the right spices this time. And oh, I made a chili mac and cheese for dinner. If you want a hearty meal, oh my gosh, it's got so many good things in there, and it tastes like fall. Like, this whole meal was so fall vibes. And the pumpkin pie, we were so excited to get into it. You see how like soft it still is? Like we were eating it like right out of the oven because everyone was so pumped. And this is me just dropping and then vibing my pumpkin pie because I was so excited. Look at it. Oh, ooh. Then it was very rainy again. The weather was all over the place. It was hot, it was cold, it was rainy, it was windy. You gotta love fall, right? And then I made some waffles for everybody. And I had the first one while I was waiting for the rest of them to cook with maple syrup. That is the one. Oh, there's my pumpkin spice latte. That's one thing I hate about pancakes and waffles is the waiting period, where you just gotta sit there while they smell so delicious and good and make more and not eat them all. So I did eat one. And then I had 2 other ones with some blueberries and maple syrup. Oh my gosh, those blueberries took it to the next level. Like it went from like, I don't know why I never put frozen blueberries on my waffles, but incredible. And then I don't know why I have a separate cup there. I don't know if I had a second pumpkin spice latte. That's kind of interesting. I don't know what I was doing there. But then for lunch, look at that green. Kale is so, I don't know why green, I had this whole existential thought about why green is considered a gross color. Like what is gross that's green? Nature is beautiful, it's green. Like grass is green. Like why do kids hate green or like think it's gross, right? What's green that's gross? Green is so beautiful. So I was making my green goddess soup and I was just appreciating how gorgeous it was. And I was also prepping my tofu fish, my tofu salmon, and cutting it up. That's to marinate. And it's always so fun. I love to just chop it up. And then I was adding the coconut milk to the soup. Oh, moment of silence for the garlic butter. I made garlic bread with like a roasted garlic and parsley. Oh my gosh, look at her. Like, wow. And then we had the soup and it was so good. Again, I didn't have my Vitamix, so it was not as blended as it should have been. There's my Grampy, also freaking adorable. I love that sweater. It's such a nice color, that royal blue. Then we played some cards because, you know, when in Rome. And look how pretty the tofu and fish is. I love her. The color of it is like so gorgeous. I made coconut rice like I always do. And then it was really sweet. Their neighbor brought over these roasted veggies and she made a little vegan one for me because she put cheese on theirs, but she didn't put cheese on mine. And they were delicious. They were just like a roasted vegetable dish. Oh my days. It was so freaking good. Then it was Sunday fun day and I was obsessed with the sourdough toast. I love a sourdough. It's like, I used to hate a sourdough. Also, does anyone else put long toast? My mom's like, why wouldn't you cut it in half? I toast one side and then I flip it and then I toast the other side to keep it together, you know, to keep the toast family together. I don't want to split them apart. But my mom thinks it's a little bit silly. But you know what? I disagree. So a bit of a boring breakfast, you know, just a classic peanut butter and toast. I was feeling probably very hungry that morning, so I wasn't about to mess about, do anything. But a pro tip is that I don't get salted or like sugary peanut butter. So when you add just a little bit of salt on top of the peanut butter toast, it just balances that salty and the sweet so well. It's incredible. If you don't do that, you gotta, because it's next level. Then I made some grilled cheeses and we had a bunch of the leftover soup from the day before. And I tried to blend it a little bit more because I was like, it deserves to be silkier. We deserve better than this. So I tried my best. And there's little grilled cheeses looking all adorable. And I love a grilled cheese. Like, who invented the grilled cheese? Who's like, oh yeah, 2 pieces of bread and a little piece of cheese. Like, God bless. It's so good. It's so comforting and it makes me so happy. Then I already got started on desserts for the day. So my grandpa is obsessed with date squares and I've never made them before. And that was the first time and they turned out really, really good. So I'm very proud of that. And then my Grammy loves chocolate. So I was going to make her some double chocolate chip cookies. And this is me struggling to try because this beater only had 1 speed and it was so quick. So every time I turned it on, everything just went flying everywhere and it was like coming out of the bowl. Anyways, I managed to make it work. I think this is me literally just hand mixing with it right now and then slowly trying to integrate it. But it was a messy time for all. And this was the first time I ever made this double chocolate chip cookie recipe as well, but it turned out incredible. Look how fudgy those are. They turned out like super fudgy, but also kind of crispy on the outside. So highly recommend. And the date squares, I never realized like a date square was so good, but it was like delicious. And I made enough to send over some to the neighbor as well to thank her for like the veggies she sent over the other day. And then for dinner, we were making our carrot and beet pasta with the cashew cream. Moment of silence. Look at that. Oh, it's such a pretty color and it's so delicious. We could put like so much nutritional yeast and it's so good. And then I was having a date square, experiencing that for the first time, and did a double chocolate chip cookie. And then I also went kind of wild and made some blueberry muffins to also send over to the neighbor. And yeah, that's just because I'm a wild and crazy girl. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you like this, I ended up filming enough content for like another whole video. So I can do a second part 2 if you guys want.